Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Arirang, arirang, arario. Arirang, kogeron mo moganda. 나를 버리고 가시는 님은 시위로 못 가서 발병난다. Arirang, so that was the first Korean song I ever learned and sang about 20 years ago. I was a 14-year-old forced to sing for a school project, and to be honest, I had no idea what I was doing or singing about. It is funny how years later I would know more about Korea and sing even more songs in your native language than I even dreamed about. So where is this reminiscing heading toward? SHINee is now included in my list of Korean identifiers. You're 9 years old now, and that's no small feat. Nowadays, it is becoming increasingly difficult to forge friendships, let alone any kind of relationship. And you've managed to stay together, and are still somehow together even when you're not, for so long. So congratulations, and that is an achievement in itself, so be proud. I looked back and wondered where I was when you debuted back in 2008. Back then, I was a sleep deprived medical intern, so I'm a doctor now. Back then, I was an intern surviving hospital life that was worse than medical top team and Descendants of the Sun. And I wonder now if I had smiled more and lived more, if I had replay on my MP3 player instead of surgical lecture recordings. I was late into the SHINee world bandwagon, but the impact on my consciousness was immediate and long-standing. And I believe there is no recovering from this. It's actually an affectation. It's not an affliction, and that is a good thing. I can never be grateful enough for the joy and the pleasure you give me, not only when I hear your voices or see your faces, but more so when I read or hear news about your other accomplishments and projects. You must also realize that none of this would have been possible without the support and confidence in you given to you by the people beyond the camera lenses that were trained on SHINee for the past 9 years. I am equally, if not more so, grateful to SM, to the countless people who've taken good care of you, your lucky coordinunas, the sunbays who honed your skills and who polished you, the various musicians and composers who've allowed you to share in their artistry. Of course, a very, very huge thanks to your parents who brought you into this world. They will always be your first and your last fans. Never ever forget that. Let me say a few more words to each of you as a Nuna fan. So, first, to the leader, to Onyu, to Lee Jinky. I am the oldest of 3 children, and I understand the gravity of being a group's leader. But that load gradually lightens as the rest of your brothers get older. So, take it easy. not all leaders and youngs can be like Super Junior Sitok. You have your own way of leading SHINee. As you're still together for 9 years, I think you've done well in the leading department. So keep up the good work. To Jonghyun, I'm not going to tell you it's going to be okay. I think me having lived a few more years longer than you have, I can be confident enough to tell you that life can be such a load of shit most of the time. And no one can tell you that it's going to be always okay, not for certain. It's all up to you to make it so. If you say you will be happy, you will find a way to be happy. It's the human condition, it's the human spirit. So if writing sad songs paradoxically get you high, then do it. Don't stop doing it. It's called catharsis, and that keeps a healthy mind. It also helps your listeners and your audiences. To Key, what does one say to the best chicken in the world? Don't ever pluck your beautiful feathers. So, anyway, you are maybe a chicken, like you've said in one of your interviews. But to my eyes, you're actually, what's a better feathered animal? No, swans are pretty, but they're boring. You're a peacock. You're definitely a peacock. The most colorful bird known to man. And I think the most vain, at least the male peacock is. To SHINee, no. I think I made a joke somewhere about when you see a person's eyes from outer space, in all likelihood, that's your pair of eyes. Because they are your most attractive feature, and, well, you have your mother to thank for that. But to be honest, at least to me, you are more arresting when you are playing sports. More so than when I see you on stage. I don't know why. I mean, you're not a bad dancer, you're not a bad performer. But there's something about you when you're on grass and you're chasing after a ball. I mean, I'm not downplaying your role in SHINee because you're indispensable in that group. But when you hold the ball in your hands, it's like watching you chase after a ball. It's like watching a National Geographic documentary on a gazelle. Because I have such long legs. I think your legs are taller than I am. Though sometimes the gazelle overlaps with the cheetah. I mean, whichever animal you want. And that flaming charisma you're so famous for, I've only ever seen it whenever you're in a sports competition or when you're competing with anyone. It sort of makes this Nuna teary-eyed every single time. The only other sports event in my recollection that made me shed tears was when I saw Charlie Conway in the Mighty Ducks film when he scored that goal in ice hockey. And you probably don't know what I'm talking about because that film came out way back in 1992, 93. I think you were barely, oh my gosh, were you even a year old back then? You were probably still in diapers and drinking formula milk. And Taemin wasn't even in existence yet. So, but never mind. What I ultimately want to say is for this Nuna, doing something else that makes you feel happy actually contributes to your role in SHINee. I say this to all of you, to all five of you, not just to me, no? That outside and solo projects do not take away from SHINee, but instead enriches it. It enriches your performance. It also enriches our experience as your audiences and your fans. I say this because you learn other things aside from what you learn from your choreographers or your producers or the songwriters. Um, so that when you face your audiences and perform, you're stronger, you're better, and you're wiser. Also, keep this in mind that SHINee and celebrity shouldn't be such a cage or a prison as others like you complain about. If you learn more about what makes you tick and what makes other people move, what motivates them, you'd be better equipped to give what you want to give and to keep what you want to keep, to protect what you want to protect. So to tame in from this Nuna to you, don't delude yourself into thinking that you're the best dancer because you're not. You are not the best dancer. And you should never even try to be. What you only need to be is the only one, the one of one, the original. Why? Because being the best means that there are others who are similar to you. And being the best assumes you can be compared to someone else. And one day, as your youth leaves you, as you get older, your body starts conking out. Someone else will take your place. And some people who experience that feel that it's difficult to recover. And I don't want that for you. Remember, music, dance is art. We do not revere the best in art. There's no best. We revere what is timeless. And that is what you should hope to achieve. Be timeless. Like the Mona Lisa or Beethoven's Ode to Joy. Timeless. So in parting, I wish you gentlemen more success, more healthy years together, more love, more peace and security. I know world affairs are quite precarious. Both our countries are besieged with internal and external problems. And what you're doing may seem small and inconsequential in the face of our world's situation. But that is also your weapon and a shield for your country. A lot of people know more about Korea now than before because of groups like SHINee. And you, as instruments of music, you've also brought joy, and you continue to bring joy and hope for the rest of us. So I beg you, don't deprive the world of that gift. So, to end this, please stay together, keep on making good music, and dance, dance, dance. So, happy birthday, SHINee. Nuna signing out.